Fantastic. Once again, welcome everyone to today's Locker Room Talk. And I want you guys to go ahead and text your people, other leaders, tell them to get on this call here because it's very, very important. It always blows me away that for announcements, we have over 1,000 people for announcements, as though the announcement is going to make all the difference in the world in your business. What's going to make the difference is your focus and your attention and your integrity with your word to follow through to completion, everything that we share with you to do to be successful in this project. And so unlike a job where you're able to just work just hard enough not to get fired and they pay you just enough that you keep coming back for more, as an entrepreneur, you got to pay full retail at the count of success. There is no layaway program. You can't Jimmy rig the system. You can't trick it. Anyone that's having success, they've had complete integrity with their word. I want you to think about Leilani Rube, Nicole Jackson, Thomas Dubois, Dap Dunbar, and other leaders, Isaac Moody. There's so many leaders that we can talk about. The ones that are having success, guess what? They're consistent. They show up and show out. So if you're not having the kind of success that you want to have, it could be because you're not plugging in, you're not fully engaged, or maybe it's because your attention is splintered in so many different ways because you're looking at the next shiny object. What I want you guys to understand, I've been involved in marketing for many years. Am I the highest paid marketer on the planet? No, but I can't say I've created a consistent lifestyle for myself. I've seen it all and done a lot of stuff. I know about all the compensation plans out there, binary, breakaways, uni levels, hybrids. I mean, you name it, I've done it. High ticket, low ticket. I've done a whole bunch of different things. And it hurts my heart when I see people who are new to this online space and they can't tell the difference between the shiny objects out there. They don't understand that a lot of those things are pigs with different color lipstick on them, but they're still a pig. And what I love about what David Rosen has put in place here with Co-op Life and Co-op Crowd more specifically is that we're completely transparent. Are the emails perfect? No. Do we always dot the I's and cross the T's in every message that's put out there? No. But we have an owner that's not hiding behind the scenes. He's not fake. He's there in the foreground. We're showing up every single day and every weekend to pour our hearts into each and every one of you around the world. So we're here to stay. So we're not here today, gone tomorrow. We're not a pump and dump. We are a project and we own the track without having to bet on the horses being other shiny objects out there. So I want you guys to understand, if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be successful in this project, you have to become singular in your focus. I can remember many years ago when I first got involved in network marketing, it wasn't about jumping around from deal to deal to deal. And so I started noticing that some of the leaders that I was following, they started jumping around from deal to deal to deal. And I quickly realized that what ended up happening for leaders that do that is because when there's a lull in their income in any specific business opportunity, what they want to do to stimulate their paycheck, they'll jump to another deal and it's like brand new shiny object and they get an increase or a jolt, if you will, in their income. But the rest of the people that's following them, they don't have the same level of success. And so if you're looking for a place that you can hang your hat on, people, we found it, okay? So it's a matter of just staying plugged in and engaging and increasing your belief level. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk to you guys about how to build a successful cooperative through leadership training and development, because this is so very, very important for each and every one of you to understand, because the name of the game is understanding that we are all Coast Guards. I'm going to break that down momentarily because those of you that have not been around for a long time, you may not have heard of the analogy in terms of being a Coast Guard. But I want you to understand that we are ushering in the cooperative age. This is a different animal. And even though there's some similarities to other deals out there, whether it's network marketing or other online businesses, cooperatives are different. And it's the small details that makes all the difference in the world. I heard Oprah Winfrey say something many years ago that love is in the details. And it's the small details that makes cooperatives so much more different than network marketing or a job. And as you look at this screen here, you can see where cooperatives are more distributed, that we're only as strong as our weakest link. And the powerful thing about this is that everybody's all hands on deck. Everyone has to pick their oar up and they have to row in the same direction. They have to become Coast Guards. And so the significance is this, that every donation within our distributed network effectuates everybody around the world. So, and I'm speaking more or less to the 3x10 matrix in terms of co-op crowd. I'm going to give you guys some information on that and some details and the kind of mindset that we have to have in order to pull this thing off. But cooperatives are different than network marketing. You know, sometimes as leaders, we have a team that follows us and we want to protect our team. And I get that. But in the cooperative age, we have so many leaders on here. We have 6- and 7-figure income earners from around the globe, from various network marketing opportunities that have jumped on board to co-op crowd and co-op life. And we respect that. But in order for us to effectuate the kind of change globally, it's up to us, all these 6- and 7-figure income leaders, to come together to cooperate in a cooperative, not to compete, not to have egos, but to cooperate so that we can really have the impact on this globe that we so sincerely want to have. And that's the name of the game. That's what I signed up for. Isn't that what you signed up for? We signed up to make change around the world. And if we're going to have 100 million people on the planet involved in co-op life, it's going to take all hands on deck for us to be the embodiment of what it means to cooperate in the cooperative age. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from here. So we're going to talk about the 3x10 matrix here a little bit in the co-op crowd side of everything. And one of the analogies that I've used before in the past is that we all have to have a Coast Guard mentality. Literally each and every one of you that are plugging into this locker room training, you are a Coast Guard or a Coast Guard in training. And the reason why I use that analogy is simply this, and this is for those of you that haven't been around that long, you never heard this analogy, but the question is, how do Coast Guards know who to save when there is a shipwreck in the ocean? When, let's say, there's, you know, a ship that capsized and you have hundreds or thousands of people that's in the water floundering, and you have this helicopter, how do you know who to save when there's limited space in the helicopter? Where there's a motto with the Coast Guard, and their motto is this: we can only save the people who swim towards us. That is the mindset that you have to have. Even when you're dealing in this business, you can only save the people who are swimming towards you. You can only save the people whose opinion match your own. In the field, there's a lot of people that say, well, Greg, we need to have a presentation for this segment of the population. We have to create a presentation for this segment of the population. No, we don't. What I love about co-op life is the fact that it's crowdfunding. We talk about in the presentation, everyone has their own unique causes that they need funding for. So if you're a part of this organization, when you see the presentation should allow you to see how that fits into your specific cause that you need funding for. We don't have to have specific presentations for each and every person on the face of this planet. So as a Coast Guard, you can only save the people that swim towards you. Now, here's the caveat. Because you're on board, many of you that are already involved already, that means you got on in the helicopter, okay? You got out of the water, you're on the helicopter, and we took you to land. Now, here's the caveat. You're not supposed to just stay on land. You're supposed to now train yourself to become a Coast Guard, because we want you to help us get all the other people that's in the ocean desperately looking for a way out. So it's not about you being on the land and saying, where's the money at? Now you have to train yourself to become a Coast Guard yourself. And that's where duplication comes into play. That's where these locker room trainings come into play. Not coming to an announcement from on land and saying, okay, you know, that was a great, you know, testimonial, David. We're excited now for a hot second. But now it's about executing the game plan. How do you do that? You got to stay engaged. You got to stay turned on. So that's why you have to stay plugged in. The name of the game, though, to do that is duplication. In the 3x10 matrix, I want you guys to understand this. The biggest money is going to be on the bottom, maybe 3 to 4 levels. That's where the biggest residual component is going to be at. Many of you won't get there if you don't understand what I'm getting ready to share with you right now. And I'm sharing this with you based on experience. You can talk to anyone that's been in marketing, whether it's network marketing, high ticket, or whatever the case may be, that requires a team of people that most people never dig deep enough because they have a whole bunch of independent individuals doing their own thing. And so your shovel's not sharp enough to dig deep in your organization. If you want to dig deep in your organization, you got to have duplication. And the duplication equals multiplication. If you're running rogue, if you're doing your own thing because you may think you have a better way, what's going to happen is you're going to be in addition and subtraction. And that's what happens to a lot of people in marketing. I mean, I think I'm not sharing anything with you guys that have been experienced in the game that you don't already know. So you have people coming in, but you also have people going out the back door. So essentially you're spinning plates. All right. And that gets tiresome. So you spin a plate on this particular opportunity, and then someone grabs your attention about another shiny plate over here. That plate drops, you go to this other opportunity and you spin plates there because you haven't created duplication. And that creates the multiplication. This whole business is about dividing your efforts and multiplying your results. And the way in which you divide your efforts is by us all doing our small part to duplicate a very systematic approach to get the results. Once you have that in place, it will spit you out on the other side, and you can do whatever you want to do because you're going to have 7 days of Saturday, and you're going to be able to wake up when you get through sleeping. So duplication equals multiplication, but multiplication also equals exponential growth. Because in the 3x10 matrix, we want to have perfect duplication in order to sharpen our shovel to dig deep. So it doesn't matter if you're person number one. I think on the 10th level, it's close to 90,000 people, if my math serves me right. We want to make sure that the 90,000th person is doing the exact same thing as person number one in the matrix. That is perfect duplication. And so when you look at this, I want you guys to look at it from this perspective. This business, this project, I should say, in my humblest opinion, just based on my years of experience, is the scene in life. It sincerely is. It's so simple, though, that it's difficult. It's almost like I was sharing with Thomas Dubois yesterday, and maybe some other leaders as well. It's almost like the Cabbage Patch doll. I don't know if you guys remember those dolls, and maybe I'm dating myself, but the Cabbage Patch dolls was a phenomenon. Everyone was trying to get them, but they were so ugly, they were cute. You know, there's some dogs that you may see that are so ugly that they're cute. This business is so simple that we make it so difficult, and that's what I want to help you guys understand. Stop making it difficult. Embrace the simplicity so that you can have the lifestyle of your dreams. So this business in terms of duplication is kind of like doing the hokey pokey, getting everybody to do the exact same electric slide or line dance. I want to share this video with you that Liz Moultron out of the UK shared with us that I think really encapsulates what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. When you don't attend presentations and Zoom meetings and training, this is what you're going to look like. All right. And so I thank you so much for that, Liz, because I see a lot of people, that's what they're experiencing. You know, we're in our Telegram groups, in our Facebook group, based on the questions that some people ask, you know that they're not plugging in. You know that they're not attending the training. You know that their head's not in the game. And it'll be those same people that'll be on the sideline pointing fingers saying, oh, that doesn't work, or that's a scam. No, it's not a scam. This works if you work it. And the reason why I'm saying that is this. There's two leaders that you guys heard from last week, Ursula Gaynor and Bridget Copeland Harris, that David Rosen had spoke about. And what I want you guys to understand is that in the very beginning, back in January, we were doing the 2x2 quad 50-50. And the whole goal was to duplicate getting 2 people within 48 hours and teaching duplication. And because Bridget Copeland Harris and Ursula Gaynor and Vielka Finlater and Dr. Leda Harris and Leilani Rude and other leaders did that, they took it seriously. It wasn't, well, if I don't get my 2 in 48 hours, no big deal. They took it literally. They kept their word. They had integrity with the system. That is why in this moment in time, Ursula Gaynor has over 10,000 people in her network. Bridget Copeland Harris has over 20,000 people in her network, is because they kept their word. This business is so simple. It's about having integrity with your word. When I look at dynasties, I love dynasties because it's one thing to get to the top, okay, of any specific program or sport. For instance, the Patriots, the Chicago Bulls, you can look at Microsoft, if you will. the thing that I love about them is that it's one thing to get to the top, but it's harder to stay there. And the reason why they're able to stay there is because they get everyone to buy into the culture. They get everyone to be anally disciplined to the system at play. And if you don't, they will remove you, they'll replace you, and they'll look for people that buy into the system. It's the same thing here. So what we want to do, and I'm going to share the hokey pokey system with each and every one of you, and it's based on VBRs, that if everyone does to perfect duplication, we will create tremendous success. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys here real quickly about the co-op crowd. All right. Now, obviously, we have the co-op 50/50. We have the donation packages, but I know people have been asking about this. So I want to share some things with you in the 3x10 matrix. We're talking about a small $84 donation. 100% of all donations are allocated in these three ways here. So you have the 25%, which are direct donations. That's who you personally invite. So every time someone donates with the subscription, you're going to get 25% of anyone that you personally invite. 50% of the donation, okay, is going to go into the cooperative and are shared with 10 generations. You guys have seen it in the video that it's split up. And I showed you guys that one picture there where the donations, how it affects the cooperative. 50% is shared with 10 generations. The last 25% are the bonus donations. Now, here's what's so important, why duplication is so important. Because the big money, when we talk about that $1,042,005, the vast majority of that is going to be based on the bonuses that I'm not at liberty to share with you. Heck, I don't even know. I do know the percentages on the various levels. I'm not at liberty to share that with you. And let me share with you real quickly the reason for that. The reason for that is because we want to have a first movers advantage, team. It's not because we're trying to keep you in the dark. We're the first right now residual-based donation system on the planet. We want to make sure that when we launch August 22nd and we have that first movers advantage that no one can ever catch up to. And that's why we're keeping it under wraps. So I want you guys to understand where we're coming from. The 25% bonus donation, it goes to qualified donors who have three. That's why perfect duplication is so important. It's going to unlock the unlimited bonus structure within the co-op crowd. So it's when you're three, all right, has three, it unlocks it. So let me show you guys this real quickly. You guys have seen this in the presentation, but this is how it affects the co-op crowd. You become an active donor. You help your three register and become an active donor, and teach your three to help three or more become an active donor. Now, when you help three or more, all right, your subscription is free. I want you guys to think about that. In the co-op crowd side of everything, when you help three or more, your subscription is free. Plus, once your three help three, it unlocks the unlimited bonus for your cause residually. So that's why I'm putting a lot of emphasis on perfect duplication, and more importantly than that, having integrity with your word. If you call yourself a leader, leaders are very singular in their focus. They have the vision, they have laser beam sharp focus, and people flock to that kind of strength. If you jump from deal to deal to deal, your reputation starts to wane. I have we're not friends anymore. We were never friends. We're associates in a network marketing opportunity. And at one point in time, I mean, he was the creme de la creme here in America in terms of being a network marketer. I mean, he had a huge following, but he got on this track of jumping from deal to deal to deal because he was stimulating his own economy. And to this day, he can't get anyone to follow him because his reputation has been sullied and muddied because of that. So I want you guys to understand, co-op crowd is the holy grail of opportunity, but it's all about perfect duplication. So with that being said, as we move forward, I want you guys to understand this. You will never become significant in co-op life until it becomes an obsession for you. And if you're trying to do backdoor deals with everybody about this little fly-by-night opportunity, because it comes across as being desperate when you do those little trendy deals, you want to become obsessed with co-op life because it's going to provide you with the lifestyle that we all want. So here's what I want to ask you guys. Can a non-leader identify a leader? The answer to that is yes. You know someone that has leadership skills. They have a presence about them. So a non-leader, they know what a leader looks like, but also a non-leader knows what a non-leader looks like. And this is all about leadership development. This is all about each and every one of you becoming leaders in your own right. So you want to be identified as a leader, because when you're talking to people out here about this project here, they're going to do this business or join forces with you based on what they feel about your leadership skills, based on them feeling that you can take them where they want to go. If they don't feel that from you, it's rarely that they're going to join forces with you. So that goes to question number 2. Can a non-leader recruit a leader? And it's rarely, because they don't have respect. If you want to be respected, then you want to make sure that when you talk to someone about this business, that 3 months later, when they ask you, hey, how's that thing going? You want to be able to say, I'm rocking it. They're waiting for you to say, oh, I'm doing something different. And all you're going to do is confirm and validate what they saw in you in the first place, that you're not a real leader. You're hustling. You're trying to basically jump from deal to deal to deal, looking for shiny objects. So can a non-leader recruit a leader? Rarely, because there's no respect there. Can a non-leader develop a leader? And the answer is no, because you can't give what you don't have. And so one of the things I want you guys to understand, that what we're going to be doing, we had a leadership call at the top of this last week, and we're going to be unfolding some things. And what I want you guys to understand is that we're not a crowdfunding opportunity. That's just basically what we use. What we really are, we are a financial and business education platform that's using crowdfunding in order to get the job done. So when you enroll with Co-op Life, you need to understand that there's an expectation for you to become a Coast Guard. There's an expectation for you to learn what you need to learn in order to become a leader amongst leaders to move this thing forward. Now, what members need to focus on are drivers. And how I define drivers are people that can present and or train. So even though we have automation in place, we have video presentations, we have video trainings and things of that nature, that doesn't mean that you take the foot off the gas in your own personal growth and self-development. In the old school approach of network marketing, whether it was in hotels or in dens and living rooms across the country, it was always noted that the people in front of the room make the most money. All right, even though we're not in rooms physically, there's a virtual room. So when you're doing your VBRs, yes, you can press play, but it's best. That's good. But what's best is for you as a leader to learn how to present and train. So you're looking for drivers. So here are 3 things that you want to focus in on. You want to focus on 3+ drivers, people that you can lock arms with. They want to go through the personal growth and self-development. You know, you've already rescued them from the ocean. You've taken them to land. Now you're training them how to become Coast Guards. You're looking for drivers and not simply passengers. The second thing is you want to focus on momentum and not donations. So for some of you that's like, I'm not receiving a lot of donations at this moment in time, don't focus on that. Focus on the momentum. And where does the momentum come? It comes from you doing VBRs. Taproot into your network and identify some people. Say, hey, listen, do you really want to make this a go? Okay. And then set up a VBR for them as quickly as possible. We want to have VBRs popping throughout the organization all around the world to create the necessary momentum. It's easier to steer momentum than it is to create it. So once you get momentum going, keep it going. Number 3, focus on growth and not maintenance. A lot of times in the very beginning, we had people come in just on pure excitement and receiving a whole lot of donations without understanding the focus being on drivers and on momentum and developing themselves as presenters and trainers. And then you get into a lull, all right? And we just tried to maintain. We're like, where's Uncle Moby at? Well, Uncle Moby's asleep because we were sleeping because we were just trying to maintain rather than growing ourselves and growing other people in the process. And we're going to have 100 million people around the world. So you want to focus on growth and not maintenance. Now, how to build a massive cooperative? It's all about posture and disposition. You want to have a very strong posture as it relates to this business. I see a lot of times people get thrown off by questions. And so people are always on the defensive when you're entertaining a whole bunch of questions. I want you guys to write this down. The people that ask the questions control the conversation. So if you're constantly fielding questions, all right, then what's happening is they're controlling the narrative and you're being defensive. Now, I'm not saying don't entertain questions if a person's really asking sincere questions, but a lot of times I will answer a question with a question. So for instance, isn't this one of those Ponzi schemes? A lot of us have heard that before. That's a question, right? Now, rather than me trying to answer that, I throw it back on them. Well, I don't believe so, but what's a Ponzi scheme to you? Make them answer the question, because a lot of times they don't even know. You're going to walk them right into their own naivety on a lot of things by you asking the questions. They just want to know if you know something. They just want to know if you're a true leader. So your posture and disposition is very, very important. Now, when it comes to entertaining questions, for me personally, if I know someone's sincere about the opportunity, once I've discerned that, if they ask me more than 3 questions, then I begin to question if they really are sincere about it. And then my question to them is this: I'll ask them, are you asking me these questions because you're looking for a reason to do this? Or are you asking me these questions because you're looking for a reason not to do it? Write that down. Anyone that's entertaining questions, always ask them after a while. If you just start to discern that, you can stop them in their tracks with that. Are you asking me these questions because you're looking for a reason to do this? Or are you asking me these questions because you're looking for a reason not to do it? I promise you, you will stop them in their tracks and they'll be able to see that, I was just trying to give you a hard time. Or they'll say, no, I really, really want to know. But it's all about posture and disposition. So here's what we need to do, team, to get to that million mark and then that 100 million mark. And this is for everyone. Stay in phase 1. And what is phase 1? Sharing. You're already given, but share. Presentations and enrolling new people. Stay in phase 1. And that means when you're living your life, doing the things that you need to do. I'll give you an example. I was talking to a leader the other day. It was Isaac Moody, and he had some clothes. I guess him and his wife were taken to a Salvation Army, whatever the case may be. And this isn't verbatim, but he had ran into some people, and there were some nice clothes that he outgrew and no longer used anymore. And they were asking him, wow, this is nice. These some nice stuff. Why are you bringing this to us? He said, well, I don't need them anymore. And they asked him, well, what is that you do? And he was able to get like 20 people's numbers just living his life, doing what he does. So you don't have to just go out specifically to recruit. When you're living your life, you want to just share. You should be compelled to share, because we're talking about giving, sharing, and receiving. Okay. Or how do you do it? How do you recruit? You can ask a lot of questions. It's no different than when you go to a doctor, right? When you go to a doctor, they ask you questions. And it makes no sense if a doctor asks you questions to lie to them, because you can never heal what's not revealed. So you want to ask questions to get to a place of understanding what their cause is, what's hurting them, what's their headache. And then, oh, by the way, here's the aspirin, and it's co-op life. You want to just simply share with them, I have something that may be of interest to you that can help you fund this project that you're thinking about. Or you're behind on your medical bills. Hey, I have something I can share with you. Are you interested? Okay. That's how you go about doing it, by asking questions to identify what their pain point is. And then you can bring in co-op life at that moment in time and move them to a presentation that can potentially solve their issue or help their cause. How do you build? You go wide, then work deep. Now, in the co-op crowd side of everything, we talk about 3 or more, but the more people that you personally invite, the more you increase your bonus. I want you guys to understand that as well. Even though 3 who gets 3 unlocks the bonus, if you want more of the bonus, it's about having more people that you've personally introduced to the crowd. So go wide, then through duplication and VBRs, we work deep. Identify and develop multiple presenters and trainers. And I'm talking to leaders out there. Who are your presenters and trainers? The whole key to leadership is putting yourself in a position where there's no need to be needed. There's some leaders in this world that develop a culture where they need to be needed. That's where they get their juice from. They love the edification. I'm not one of those leaders. I don't want to need to be needed. I want to live my lifestyle like a rock star without the paparazzi. And so do you. You want to be in a position where you have successorship, whereby you have you're nested with so many presenters and trainers that after a year or year and a half to 2, you can fall back in the shadows and just make guest appearances, because you've created a culture of duplication that has a life all by itself. And so understand, we're in the basement building the foundation collectively. And I love that. We're the Daniel Boone of co-op life. But as we need to do, as we build this culture of duplication and leadership development, guess what's going to happen? We're going to grow to, 500,000, a million, 10 million, 100 million. And the original people that were in the basement, putting up the studs, digging deep, getting the arrows in their back are going to have the pina coladas on the beaches of the world. That's just how it works. So this is how you build a massive cooperative. Stay in phase one, sharing, presenting, enrolling new members. How do you do it? Ask a lot of questions sincerely, not to manipulate people. Don't look at people like they have a dollar sign on their forehead. Try to really figure out what's ailing them. There's millions, billions of people that need more money than they currently have right now for their specific cause. It's your job to find out what that cause or causes are. How do you build? Go wide, and then work deep through duplication and identify and develop multiple presenters and trainers. So once again, launching with duplication. I'm going to go through this here real quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to the incomparable Leilani Rouge. She's going to share some important information with each and every one of you. I want to go ahead and breeze through this, but you'll also find this recording in your back office under Co-op Tools. Notice it's called Launching with Duplication. And if I did an effective enough job today helping you see the value of it, you're going to take these 8 steps very, very seriously. So here's the deal. You schedule a virtual business reception and you don't reschedule. When you enroll somebody, you want to go ahead and schedule it. Now, I know we live in a world where there's people that just want to use complete automation, and I get that. But in this deal, that's so about community and so many people that's getting involved that have never been involved in the online space, we have to have that balance of high tech and high touch. And so we're using technology, the Zoom, to have the high touch, if you will, with these VBRs. So we're helping people, we're making people participate in their own rescue, but we're coaching them and leading them as well. So it's the quickest and most effective way to launch a person's crowdfunding project. And a few things happens with the scheduling the VBR. Number one, it shows a new member's willingness to participate in their own rescue, which is very, very important. It allows you to see if you're dealing with a driver or a passenger. Now, if you're dealing with someone that always cancels the VBRs, they come up with excuses why they can't have one, understand that they have to be replaced. You don't have your 3. If that's one of your 3 that's making excuses, then you have to replace them. And that's why it's so important to schedule a VBR, because as a leader, it helps you identify very, very quickly who you're dealing with. It also sets the expectation of leadership development, and because however they get enrolled is what's going to be duplicated. What duplicates, duplicates. So it's very, very important to understand that. The other thing is the law of diminishing intent. When a new member gets involved, you want to fight against the law of diminishing intent. And what that means basically is that the longer it takes for a person to do what they intended to do, and that's basically build this project, every day that goes by, the less likely it's going to get done. So that's why it's so important to do a VBR. And I know for many of you that don't want to take that time to do it, I'm telling you what I know. It's necessary, and you only have to do it for a season of your life to identify your players. And then from there, it'll have a life all by itself. So step number 2, after they set up the VBR, they're going to simply make a list. Now, I've heard some people say this sounds so network marketish. I mean, come on, people. We're talking about your family members and friends. We're talking about people that you do, you party with, you go to bar mitzvahs with, you go to their showers, their weddings, that you cry on their shoulder. You do all of these different things with. Why can't you create wealth with the people that's closest to you as well? So you want to get your top 10 as quickly as possible and invite them to your VBR. And then, basically use your phone. What's your phone's network? Your network determines your net worth. If you can't contact, and let me share this with you. If you can't get into your phone and contact 100 people that can give you $100, then you might want to start deleting some people from your phone. Now, some of you may say, Greg, that's harsh. Understand what I'm saying. It's not about the money. It's about who do you have in your cipher? Who's in your circle? Because your network determines your net worth. And it's so important to understand that. So you got to start really paying attention to that. Step number 3, invite those contacts to your VBR and be very, very excited and have a good posture and disposition. Text interested contacts to the Zoom link and time of your VBR, and be sure to text them as a courtesy reminder on the day of your VBR. And I'm kind of flying through this because this is in your back office under Co-op Tools. Step number 4, host your virtual business reception. Now you can use the overview video that's in Co-op Tools. There's other leaders that have recorded videos of themselves doing it. If you want to use that, that's good. But like I said at the top, the best thing to do, if you're a leader, you want to get out there and do the presentation yourself. And I know a lot of times people say, well, Greg, I can't do the presentation, as well as such and such, or whatever the case may be. That's not what this is about. This is not a pageantry. This is about you being willing to be bad before you're good and good before you're great. You'll never be great at anything if you're not willing to be bad first. So just jump out there. And that's why I have all the respect in the world for people that jumped out there earlier in the game, like a Daryl Thompson or Thomas Dubois or Sarah Warren. You guys don't even understand behind the scenes how nervous they were before they did their very first presentation online for hundreds of people. You guys know how nerve-wracking that is? But there's respect there. And that's why we have to give them respect by, showing up and supporting them when they do these presentations, because they're exercising courage. And what courage does is it illuminates your intrinsic value. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you to learn the presentation and step out there in faith and start doing the presentations and trainings. Step number 5, properly sign up interested guests. And you can find out how to do that under Co-op Tools in the back office. Promote team and corporate overview Zoom events. We got to do a better job of promoting these things. I mean, you got to be on fire about these events here, the locker room trainings, the corporate calls, your team, your personal team Zoom meeting. You got to be excited about what you have going on here. We can't be blasé-faire about it. This is changing people's lives. Step number 7, promote team and corporate training Zoom events. That's what I just mentioned in terms of the locker room talk, engage in personal growth and self-development. This is what it's really all about, you guys. People get involved in business opportunities and projects, and when it doesn't work for them, they want to blame the opportunity. And I want people to look in the mirror if they're not having the kind of success that they want to have. Just look in the mirror, all right? And once again, charge what I'm saying to my head and not my heart. Because you have to understand, you can't use the same mind that created your problem to solve your problem. You don't know what you don't know. And that's why you want to plug into the training, because there's going to be some days that some of the leaders that are doing trainings, they may not always hit a high note. All right. But you want to stay engaged for the times that they do hit the high note. Then you have that revelation moment. And guess what? You're forever changed, because once the mind gets expanded, it can't shrink back. That's why a person like myself, because of my experience with residual income, once you get a bunch of residual income in your life and you're able to fire your boss, you will never, ever, ever go back to being a W-2 employee. It just will not happen, because you'll know better. And when you know better, you do better. And then duplicate steps 1 through 8 with every member. So I want to encourage you guys to go through these steps, execute these steps. If your business is stagnant at all, and we have a lot of people that's on fire right now, but I'm speaking to those of you that may have some stagnation in your business, start doing VBRs. Pick up the phone, connect with some people real quickly in your group and ask them, are you the one or shall I find another? Because you're looking for your three or more players that want to be leaders, and you want them to identify their 3 or more players that want to be leaders and teach duplication. And if you don't have it, then you know what your next job is to do. Talk to people, stay in phase 1, and replace those individuals, because they've shown themselves to be simply passengers. So I hope you guys got something out of today's training. And what I want to do real quickly is I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to turn this call over to someone that I have just the utmost respect for. I say it time and time again. People say incredible things, about me, but it's because I've surrounded myself with people that make me look better than I really am. That includes Nicole Jackson. That includes none other than Leilani Root, and all of you leaders out there as well. Thank you for your time and attention. I'm going to turn it over to Leilani Root.
All right. Thank you, Greg. I tell you, you are just a wealth of knowledge every day, every Saturday. And we're so grateful for helping us all find our financial freedom. The chat is going crazy. I love it. I'm going to share my screen. And as I am finding my screen, I am Leilani Root. I am a busy mom to 5 kiddos in the Midwest. And I am just so grateful for this system that David Rosen has created. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. And I tell you, this is exactly what I needed to hear. So I am very, very grateful for that. Okay, I'm going to keep this super fast, but I've been asked all the time, like, what's your strategy? What should my strategy be? It's very simple. Get on all levels, lightning fast, lightning fast. If it's my strategy, then it should be your strategy. Now, this is what you should see in your back office. Every single wheelhouse in black. When you start, it's going to be in blue. This is the goal. Now, if some of you are thinking, yeah, this is basic information, I know this. Great. Then this isn't for you. I'm speaking to the people that don't know this. And I promise you, there's going to be more of them than you. And that's why we need to duplicate. We need to duplicate this information. So every single wheelhouse needs to be in black. This is the goal. Give, share, receive. This is the simple equation. If one of these are not in there, then the equation is broken, and we're going to have issues in our teams. You have to start off with giving. You have to. Next you share, next you receive. Like Greg said, it's so simple. Sometimes it's difficult. I love the equation or the story with the Cabbage Patch dolls. I had so many. I love they were so ugly. My mom went out and she was elbowing other moms to get those for me. Okay, now this should be very familiar. It really should. It's not like we haven't talked about it, taught you guys, but sometimes, it just takes like our kids. We tell them something, then they hear it from somebody else. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, why didn't you ever tell me that? I'm like, no, we did. We really did. So this should be your light bulb moment. Don't take out a dime until you get to that 4,000 level. Now, some of you are going to, get all in a funk because you're going to hear me say you can't take out a dime. I'm not saying that. You are able to take money out. You are. It's your account. But do you want to go slow or do you want to go fast? You've asked us for strategy. I'm telling you strategy. This is what I did. This is what Nicole did. This is what Greg did. This is what all the leaders did. We didn't take out a dime because although the $12.50 donations, receiving those are amazing, what's even better than that is the $2,000 donations that are dropping into our digital wallets. Woo-hoo. I mean, if you like that, tell me in the chat. Put. I love that. I love that. It's happening to new people, and what's happening is they're so busy to get their people in and help them, and maybe they don't have crypto wallets, and maybe they're in a country that makes it super, super difficult. So what's happening is they're doing member to member transfers to get their people in, and they're literally depleting their accounts. You're depleting your accounts. And so I'm like, we have to stop and tell you guys, don't do that. Don't do that, because you're literally hurting yourself. That lets us know we need to train on this. It comes from a place to help and needing help. Maybe you need the money so very badly. Listen, we get it, but I'm telling you, hunker down, get to that $4,000 level. And it also comes from a place of not being plugged in. I have a team member that has withdrawn $50,000 in donations. This person had an issue with her account. I said, shoot over your donor key and we'll look at it. She said, what's that? What? Okay, let's focus. Okay, like I said, we did not take out a penny through that. And I'm telling you, I don't know if you've heard Dr. Leda say, with all the COVID stuff, it was all crashing down around all of us, but she told such an amazing story about how she so very badly needed it. It's all of us that needed help, doctors, ordinary people, everybody, but she didn't take out a dime. That's just what we do. All right. I love this. This is our own Nicole Jackson. And this is so profound. But it's so true. Seed time and harvest. Stop trying to eat the harvest before planting the seed. That's what some of you guys are doing. And sometimes you just don't know. And sometimes it comes, like I said, it comes from a place where you need it so very badly. All I'm saying is this is a strategy. So you don't have to just be in such a desperate mode with money. I want you to go log into your accounts and go to your open wheelhouses. And this is what it's going to look like. Okay. When that wheelhouse fills up, you must have enough to close your current wheelhouse and level up to the 50. That's what this is all doing. You know, it's getting you through those. When we say one-time donation and you can get all the way through it, that we mean it. We mean it. So if you stop the flow of this, then you're going to have to redonate, or you're just going to have to work so much harder than you have to. There's not enough at this point in the beginning. There's not enough money to fund your new team member, level up, and your lifestyle. Not yet. Okay. There's not enough money for that. The focus is, the strategy is, the system is designed to level you up to every single level. So I've made these numbers up, or I've made the names up. I'm sorry. Angela, Tim, Barry, Todd, David. This is what your wheelhouse looks like in the 25. When there's an empty spot, you're getting close to closing that and opening it back up. This may seem simple to you guys, and some of you that you've got this, you've got it down, but I'm telling you, help your team members understand this. And I'm telling you, it's going to change. It's going to change everything. Okay. Stay focused. Stay focused. Again, if you aren't all in, it's so tempting to take the seed and run. You must close the wheelhouse, donate, back out, and level up. Again, see the 12, you may not think anything with the 1250, but listen, level 1000, you're always going to get 50%. So those 500s dropping in right now, if you looked at this wheelhouse, you've got 2 coming in that will help you close that and send it back out. You can take the rest, but you cannot take, if you're all in, if you're all the way in, you can take this, but you cannot take those last 2. All right. Is this coming together for you? Are you having aha moments? If you are, drop it like it's hot in the chat. Please tell me, oh my gosh, I'm having an aha moment. I get the strategy. All right. So serious amounts here. We're dropping 1,000 in the wheelhouses in your digital wallet. Remember, family, we are talking lightning fast strategy. Do you want to go fast or do you want to go slow? Get in your back office. Remember, it's all about give, share, receive. So if that equation has been broken, the system won't flow as smoothly. We cannot just be takers. We cannot. Get in your back office. Click on where it says suspended. See who's suspended. Sometimes they're just short on donations, but get with that person. They may not even realize. And again, it goes back to being plugged in. Maybe life has overtaken them and they'll be so grateful that you reached out to help, but we all have to pick up an oar and do our part. All right. Put on your own oxygen mask before helping those around you, meaning do what's right in your own account. You don't dwindle your account out down to nothing, whittle it down to nothing before you get all the way through that 4,000. And then I'm telling you with everything I know, it flows so smoothly and seamlessly. And then there's enough to help your teammate. There's enough to take some out. There's enough to support your lifestyle. But in the beginning, there's not. And it can go very, very quickly, very, very quickly in the right direction if you just have a strategy, if you just know what you're doing. And this is what every single leader has done. So on that note, I am going to stop sharing. And
Awesome.
Thank you for letting me speak into your life.
Absolutely. That was so good, Leilani. We appreciate you so much. And to piggyback off of what you shared, I brought Dr. Leda Harris, who you alluded to earlier, because I want you guys to hear her story. For those of you that really don't understand the power of keeping your money in all the way up to all 8 donation levels. We're telling you what we know. We're not trying to hurt you here. We're telling you what we know. So please, Dr. Leda Harris, you're a tremendous leader and asset. Can you share with the community your story?
I don't, this has been phenomenal already, and I want to be focused because you asked me to do a task, and I'm going to do that task, okay, because I want to just shout right now with everything that I'm hearing. Leilani, thank you for saying yes. That's all I can say. Thank you for saying yes.
I love you,
Okay.
sis.
I love you, girl. So listen, January 7th is when I came on board, and it really only took, I was desperate by the end of last year, 2020, as a business owner, medical doctor, gynecologist, but private practice. 2020 just put me in financial stress. It was horrible at the end of the year. A tremendous amount of terrible loans that I had to take out. These loans got to the point where every single thing that was coming in had to be used to pay loans. It was a horrible financial crisis, really, at the end of the year. So at the beginning of this year, when I was introduced to Co-op 50/50 at that time, and now Co-op Life, I'm excited about that. I opened up my ears to my family, which was Ursula, Bridget, Bielka. They came, Greg brought us and just said, hey, this is something. I said yes. And I really said yes because I was desperate. Okay, when you're praying and asking for a breakthrough and something comes like this, you see it as like, this is the answer to my prayer. So when I jumped in, literally, I only had $25, $50 level to even start with. It was that bad. I did level up to the 150 level, but that's all that came out of my pocket was $225. 6 weeks, 4 days later, I was able to level up to the $4,000 level. Now, let me tell you, during those 6 weeks and 4 days, my bank account was overdrawn. I had no money to pay bills. I saw thousands of dollars in my wallet, and I wanted so desperately to take that out. I wanted to withdraw it, but I had to hold my hands and say, no, no, no. They said, don't touch it until you get to 4,000, because that is where then you can be able to start withdrawing and pulling out whatever you need based upon the strategy that Leilani just showed. So believe me, it was desperate times. And when you see thousands of dollars in your wallet, even hundreds of dollars in your wallet, and you want to take it, leave it alone. Don't touch it. And I've had people on my team that were, and I just say they were passengers. They saw the money, nothing was going on, and they just snatched it out. I'm like, okay, you just manifested to me, you're a passenger. You're not seeing this, you don't see this vision. I'm good. Thank you, Greg, for just saying today. Don't focus on those passengers. Focus on the drivers. Leilani, you want my driver, girl. My sister Bielka's a driver. I got other people that are drivers. And don't touch the money until you get to $4,000. No matter how desperate you are. So thank you so much, Greg, for just allowing me to share this testimony. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing it. And I hope the global community got the message today. It's about leadership development. It's about being a part of a cooperative where we all cooperate together, duplicate. We're all doing the hokey pokey. We're doing the exact same thing. And then once you get over the top, because I always say, we're not going to just see you at the top, we're going to see you over the top. You just do the hokey pokey till you get over the top, and you can do whatever dance you want to do on any beach around the world that you want to do a dance on. And that is the name of the game. So we're going to have a 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time overview call. If you take what I shared seriously today, get on that horn today. Bless people with this. Get them in front of Nicole Jackson this afternoon and some powerful testimonials. And team, let's rock and roll. August 22nd is right around the corner. We're going for 1 million members. This is not a game. So God bless each and every one of you. And we're not just going to see you at the top. We're going to see you over the top. Take care, everybody. God bless.
Bye, everybody.